Okay, today I'm going to show you about the extension WalkThisWay for Fantasy Grounds. Um, I was writing the README for this, and I felt like there was just too much to put all in the README, and it wasn't all going to make sense, so I decided to make this video. Okay, so the main thing, or the first thing I did with WalkThisWay, is I made it so if a character is prone, and it comes around to their turn, it brings up a little window that says, by the way, you're prone, it's your turn. Do you want to stand up? If you say yes, it puts a little effect that says that you stood up, your speed is halved. And so what I've done now with WalkThisWay 2.0 is I've added a speed calculator. And this is actually way more complicated than just the little prone window. So that's why I wanted to make this video. Okay, so if you noticed, now that our speed is halved, Diedrich, his speed is now 15 feet instead of 30. Now, if we were to make him prone again, you might not have noticed this the first time. Look, his speed gets halved again, and it says crawl, because that's all he can do. Now, while you're prone, you can't fly or swim or anything like that. So if he had any flying or swimming or climbing speeds, they're not going to show while he's prone. Now let's go back to default. And then let's say someone casts fly on him. Here's our fly effect. See, now look, we've got a speed of 30 feet and fly 60 feet with hover. Now, if I were to cast some kind of debuff on him that reduces his speed by 10, see, both speeds go down by 10. And some other debuff that reduces speed by half, they both get halved again. Now, if we get doubled, the halved and the doubled just cancel each other out. Let's say we have some kind of debuff, or let's start with some kind of buff that gives him a climbing speed. See, now he's got a climbing speed, and I even intentionally did the case weird, and it still works. And then later, we have some kind of other debuff that removes the climbing speed. It's gone. And let's say we have a root. We can do speed none, and it ignores everything else. Just, hey man, you're stuck. And if I do grappled or restrained or anything else, it's going to do the same thing. So let's remove that because it messes up all our other tests. It supports encumbered. It supports exhausted. 1 exhaustion doesn't do anything. 2 exhaustion does, though. And actually, I added a little thing while I was at it. If you get 6 exhaustion, there's an option you can set. I'll go through the options later, that will actually kill the character. That's defaulted to off because I don't think most people are going to like that. There are lots more things you can do. I don't want to go through all of them, but yeah, it does a lot. It's really smart. I made it smart, so it should do all the interpretations for you, so you don't really have to think about it. And even speed difficult, so if you go over difficult terrain, it's only going to half it once. So you could drop the speed difficult a million times. The speed doesn't change because it only is in effect once. Okay, also you might have noticed this. His speed is actually 5 right now. This is, it shows for me because I'm the author, but like normally you would need to have Mad Nomad's character effects display for this to show up, and so now this works in conjunction with that extension so now you get the correct number here. What else does this do? Okay, so another great thing that this does, let's say, you know what, we use grids. And I don't want to think about 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. How many tiles do I have to move? Okay, units for displaying speed tiles. So 5 feet's one tile, 10 feet is 2 tiles. Oh, let's say I'm from Europe. I don't like feet. I use meters. Okay, now it's in meters. Um, Now, if this is too small for you, and also this is the DM side, the client side doesn't have this, um, although I have another extension that does make so the client has this. But let's say you don't have this, or this is too small for you, double click it, and it brings up a window. This window shows, this, plus it lists all the effects that are currently affecting your speed. Let's see, I get rid of the speed minus 10. Boom, it removes from this window. You can also get this window open by double clicking speed here. And by the way, this is not just player characters, this is also non-player characters. Let's bring up our acolyte here. Now, I can't have it modify this because that would mess everything up. But it is modified here, but we can also have our speed window there as well. Let's see, what else? Okay, let's say all your effects are done in meters. You can change this here. I don't recommend changing this unless you really know what you're doing, because everything will be all messed up. So this is for if the effects, so let's say speed 10 deck, that means decreased by 10. If you meant 10 meters decreased instead of 10 feet, that's when you change this here. But I think everything is in feet mostly, so if you want it in meters, you change it in meters at the top. And by the way, this is per user, so like the DM can have it in meters, one client in tiles, another client in feet, etc., etc. If you don't like this, you don't like the speed calculator, you're never going to use it, all you use is prone, you could just turn it off, and that'll save all the processing power and memory, so it won't do stuff. You can, these are more options that are, I think, mostly self-evident. I think that covers it. Am I forgetting anything? So yeah, okay, so for the prone, I did forget to say this. So let's say I am prone, but I'm also rooted. Well, I can't stand up, right? If my speed is 0, I can't stand up. I also can't crawl. Let's see, I'm prone. And then let's add I have speed calculator turned off now. That's why the 9 is wrong. And let's add a prone. Okay, so we're gonna make it Diedrich's turn here. Look, it didn't ask. So it's not even gonna ask you if you want to stand up because you can't stand up. And it supports all sorts of stuff. I don't know if you noticed, like this is from me testing Tasha's Hideous Laughter, because that one's kind of complicated. And then I feel like there was another thing I wanted to tell you. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. Yeah, if you have any questions or suggestions on how to improve this, or especially if you find a bug, please let me know on the forum, or if you know how to contact me in Discord.